Hey guys, I have a brand new pick a card reading for you guys today. And today we are doing an in depth, all extensive love reading. Yes, indeed. So we're going to look into the past, we're going to look into the present, we're going to look into the future. And if you do have a person of interest, we're going to look into what that person may be feeling, thinking, and wanting towards you. So, as a whole, we're going to be looking at a lot of details when it comes down to your love life. And regardless of what's happening, whether you're single or in a relationship or in a situationship or anything in between, whatever is going on should definitely come through in the messages that we have here today. Before I get started, I did want to ask you guys really quickly if you could do me a huge favor and give this video a big thumbs up. That would help me out a lot here on the YouTube algorithm. I would appreciate that greatly. And drop me a comment in the comment section down below. Because once again, that is super helpful as well. And it just helps, push this video out there and allows other people to see it who may need it. And speaking of which, if you think this will help someone in particular, feel free to share it as well. And if I wind up resonating with you as a reader, I invite you to go ahead and subscribe and hit that notification bell because that way you will be up to date and in the know every time a brand new reading goes up, a brand new update, a brand new anything of anything, basically. Um, so, yeah, I definitely invite you to subscribe and hit the notification bell. And also, if I wind up like super duper resonating with you as a reader, I am open and available for personal readings. You can find my personal readings over on shadowandshine.com. That is my website. And I also have oracle decks up for sale there as well. In fact, the oracle decks that I'm going to be using here today in this reading, they are available for purchase on my website. So whether you're doing readings for yourself or friends or clients of your own for that matter, they make a wonderful addition for anyone's personal collection, whether you are a seasoned pro or a new beginner when it comes down to doing readings. They're really fantastic decks for anyone and everyone, really. So oracle decks and readings, all that good stuff is available on my website. Those things are also available on Etsy as well. I prefer people go to my website over Etsy, but if you want to go to Etsy, that is definitely an option too. That is cool. And also, I want to invite you guys to join me over on Patreon. And you don't have to pay to join me over on Patreon either. There are free memberships there as well, but there are paying ones. They're pretty decent in price, ranging anywhere from $1.11 per month on upwards at the $5.55 tier and up. Those people get daily card pulls as well as access to the Discord server, which is a huge perk because I like to make my Patreon not just about the collective readings that come in, whether it's weekly or daily or what have you, but also I really want it to be a place where people can connect and find their soul tribe, connect with people, and ultimately develop long-term, long-lasting connections and friendships, because we all need that. We all need support and encouragement along this crazy journey that we call life. So anyways, if you're curious about more information on all those things, there is a video in the description box down below, and it kind of covers everything in detail, the readings I offer, the Patreon memberships, all that good stuff. So if you're curious to learn more, head to the video that is down there in the description. otherwise, yeah, for your one-stop shop for everything, just go to shadowandshine.com because that's where you're going to find it all, whether it's readings, Patreon, my other socials, or anything in between. So feel free to check that out. All right, so that's all of our 411. That's everything you need to know. Let's dive into these pile introductions now so you guys know what you want to pick. So we have 4 different piles for our options today, obviously. And I decided to go with towers. I don't know why, but I was feeling towery for some reason. So we have 4 different crystal towers. And pile 1, we have this fabulously gorgeous and beautiful crackle quartz. It's kind of got like an aura to it as well, like a crackle quartz aura tower. Very pretty. So this one is pile number 1. A little bit closer to see it. It's so pretty. Okay. Anyways, so that's pile 1. Pile 2 is a quartz tower with tourmaline in it. So as you can see, like these little black flecks on the inside of it are pieces of tourmaline inside the quartz. So that's pretty cool. So this one is pile 2. Looks like a couple of eyes looking at you. Pile number 3, we have another aura quartz tower. This one's much darker. This one is like titanium quartz. I'm trying to... There we go. Now you can kind of see like the aura in there. It's very dark. It's very dark to see it, but it is there. It's a cool tower. I got it at the Denver Gem and Mineral Show last year. So, and pile number 4, we have a chunky little golden healer quartz. And this one I remember I got at Crystal Light in LA. Yeah, Crystal Light in LA. I believe this one, pile number 2, I also got in LA. I think I got it at the House of Intuition. And for pile number 1, this one, the Crackle Quartz, I got at Enlightened Balance Chakra Spa in Crystal Lake, Illinois. So they all come from somewhere different. But yes, here's our Golden Healer Quartz. Very golden, very pretty. And this one is pile 4. I don't know why I'm telling you guys where I got the crystals, but for those who are curious, now you know. All good crystal places, whether you're in Denver, LA, or the Chicagoland area. Okay, so those are our 4 piles. Go ahead and choose the one that stands out the most to you. Trust your gut, trust your intuition. I say go with your first instinct. Don't second guess it. So whether you are choosing by crystal, by number, or any other factor that you connect to when it comes to choosing a pile, you're also welcome to choose more than one pile. So, if 2 of them stand out, like let's say 1 and 3 stand out for you, then go with 1 and 3. You can choose as many piles as you want. So anyways, we are going to get started here now with pile number 1, our Crackle Quartz Tower group. Hi, pile 1. If you chose this beautiful Crackle Quartz or a Crackle Quartz, then this is going to be the reading for you to find out basically what's happening in your love life. Time to dive in deep. Okay, this is going to be an exciting reading. All right, so we have our pile here, but before I officially start dishing out those cards, I am going to pull 3 cards really quick from my own Oracle deck, Love Story. This is brand new. It's a love Oracle deck, obviously, and I'm just basically setting the intention for 3 cards. There's 1. That's the past, present, and I need 1 more for the future because I just want to see, like, standing wise here, Where are you guys at in regards to the past, present, and future? There we go. And there's the future. All right, there we are. And I might pull more cards if I need to, also from my other deck in my feels. We'll just kind of see what happens. So this one came out first for the past. If you only knew how I truly feel, what I keep hidden. So it does seem like there's someone in your life who you have a connection with. This is probably your person of interest, your significant person, basically, whether you guys are currently together or not. But I do feel like in the past, this person has had a lot of emotions, a lot of things going on internally, and they have not expressed them. Now, typically, when somebody is holding on to things like that and hiding things like that, like, I feel like people normally don't hide like happy feelings or things that make them feel good or happy things. So I feel like, especially considering, look at the guy's face. He doesn't look happy. He looks pensive. He looks like he could be burdened. He could be weighed down. So whatever it is, it's definitely something that's pulling them down. If they're not expressing how they really feel, it could be out of protection. So I kind of get that they're trying to protect you from stuff that could be going on within themselves. Either that, or it's like simply just holding on to this stuff. Like, that's another thing too. Like, when we hold on to things, it winds up intoxicating our own systems. It winds up making our own systems not feel so great. When we're carrying burdens, when we're not sharing things, when we're not expressing things, like, that's not healthy. So I feel like whatever it is that they want to share, it's definitely weighing down on them. It's becoming a burden. And it may not have started out that way for them originally. Like, they might have just figured, oh, I suppressed this, no big deal. It's going to go away. It's going to fade. It's going to pass. And that hasn't happened. So I feel like that's kind of like what was going on in the past for you guys. Let's see. Now, this one's the future. Let's see about the present, which is this card. Okay. The present says timing issue. Not now, not yet. So this gives me the indication that you guys are probably not together right now. And if somebody is having problems expressing themselves, obviously, and being open and being vulnerable and sharing what's going on, that is going to cause quite the rift in a relationship. You cannot function with that. You cannot move forward with that. There's nowhere to go. It's basically a dead end. There's no growth in that. So this definitely tells me that you guys are probably not together at this time. Maybe you're communicating, maybe you're not. If you are communicating, though, this connection is definitely not like on the romantic level or on the level that you would like it to be, obviously. So definitely, like, right now is just not the right time. It seems like this person probably has some things they need to work through, which is why you guys are just not together at this time. Okay. And as for the future, I feel like this is you guys. The heart wants what it wants, and it wants you. So this doesn't tell me that you guys like won't end up together, but it does tell me that because we have this timing issue here, not now, not yet, it also tells me not anytime soon. Because if it was going to be like in the near future, if you guys were going to resolve this and reunite soon, then you wouldn't be feeling this way. Like, the heart wants what it was. It still wants you. I miss you. So you're still going to be kind of lingering in this energy. And that's not a bad thing that you care, obviously. It's not a bad thing that you still love this person, but it is a bad thing that you're kind of putting yourself in this emotional turmoil and torment for the time being. So that's kind of what we have going on here when it comes to past, present, future energy. Let's dive in deeper with what we have going on here in the cards and see what's happening, first of all, in the emotions here. So we have some emotion cards coming through from In My Feels. Let's see what they're feeling, what they're thinking, what they're wanting kind of energy. Let's see what's going on here. So this is quite the opposite energy of what we have happening here with the timing of past, present, and future. But we have festive, merry, joyful, yes. So, okay. I feel like this card is coming through basically saying that you guys do make each other happy. You guys do bring joy to one another. Like, even though obviously there's some difficulties here, there are some challenges, this person is in your life for a reason. Like, at some point, they did make you happy. It was probably before this. It was probably before the past. Like, past, present, future. This is probably like more recent past, like maybe further back before this. They were bringing you a lot of joy and you were bringing them a lot of joy. I feel like this is a mutual feeling. I do feel like you guys both do make each other happy. Unfortunately, I do feel like there are other issues that are definitely getting in the way and kind of messing with things to continue that. There's probably some things that need to be healed, because that's the thing. It's like, if you guys went into this connection and you went into this relationship and yeah, it was all happy, happy, joy, joy, but you guys were both carrying baggage into it, it doesn't matter how much happiness you bring each other. Like, if you haven't worked out your stuff, those demons are still going to pop up. They're still going to appear at some point. So those things are still going to need to be worked through. Let's see what else is going on. But the fact that you guys make each other happy, that's definitely a good thing. Let's see what else we have. Confident, self-assured, positive, yes. So that's another thing too. Like, you guys have your issues between one another, but I do feel like you're confident about one another. Now, there's obviously extenuating circumstances, because once again, we have all this stuff happening here with the past, present, and the future. However, I feel like with all this going on and the fact that you make each other happy and you feel confident that, like, you feel confident that they're the one, I feel like this means they feel confident in exchange that you're the one. That's all very positive energy. Like, the feelings and the emotions are all yes energy. We have a yes card here. We have a yes card here. Like, this is all yes energy. This is good stuff. You guys feel good towards one another. So if the feelings towards each other are good, but we have some questionable stuff here on your journey, past, present, and future, it tells me that most likely what's going on, what's causing the rift, is external. It's not stuff within your connection between the two of you. But again, it's probably baggage that has been carried over and is being brought into the relationship, whether it's baggage from previous relationships, or maybe it's baggage from your upbringings and family stuff. Maybe it's family trauma and negative mental strongholds that are getting a hold of one another of you. It could be self-sabotage. It could be your perceptions of how you feel about yourself and how they feel about themselves. It could be those types of things that are getting in the way, not necessarily how you feel about one another, but other issues, dealing with other things that are definitely having an impact upon this connection. So it's just like, Spirit is kind of saying here, like, you guys have good feelings, you guys have good vibes towards one another, but in order for this to work, you have to heal some other stuff that's happening externally in order to make things work between one another. Let's see, what else do we have here? Left out excluded, rejected, abandoned, no. So this definitely is kind of chiming back into the energy that's happening up here with the past, present, and future. The left out energy specifically, I feel like is probably how you have felt when they have not been opening up and sharing what's going on. You know, the card says, if you only knew how I truly feel, what I keep hidden. Now, if they're keeping things from you, if they're not opening up, if they're not being vulnerable, if they're not sharing, then that's going to leave you feeling pretty left out as to how they feel and what's happening in their life. And, you know, a lack of communication, lack of vulnerability, lack of openness, that can definitely cause a rift within a relationship. And again, I don't feel like you're the cause of them being like this. I feel like if they have this mentality and they have this approach in relationships, it's probably because they've been hurt in previous relationships themselves, or it was a learned behavior from maybe their home life growing up. It could be a multitude of different reasons, but they operate this way for a reason, and it's definitely something that needs to be healed. But that leaves you in exchange, like I said, feeling left out. It's like you want them to open up, you want them to share, you want to have that openness and intimacy and vulnerability with one another, and it's hard to do that with someone who won't do that, even if they want to, but they won't. We have silly, goofy, weird, funny, yes. So I feel like when things are good between the two of you, you guys are just able to make each other laugh and you have so much fun. It's like you guys are just a pair of kids, basically. So I definitely feel like you guys are capable of having so much fun with one another and just being silly and goofy. You know, that kind of plays into this festive, merry, joyful kind of energy. So when things are good, like things are really good between the two of you. And I feel like this is the energy that you're trying to recapture and re-encapsulate. And I don't blame you. So, you know, it's definitely like a positive thing that's there. And we also have nostalgic, sentimental longing. So I feel like, once again, I feel like this is a mutual thing. I feel like, you know, you both bring each other joy. You both feel confident in each other being the one. You both enjoy the silliness with each other. And I feel like you both miss each other. And there is that sense of nostalgia there. I feel like the nostalgia may be a tad, not to say that they don't miss you, because I'm sure they do. But I feel like the nostalgia may be a tad heavier on your end with this future card, with the heart wants what it wants. You know, when we're kind of in that emotional state, we are nostalgic. We're nostalgic for the good old days and for the way it was, the way it used to be. So, you know, you could already kind of be heading in that direction. And I feel like, once again, if you're feeling that way, chances are they're probably feeling that way too, because they do want to open up and they do want to share with you, but I don't feel like they're necessarily ready yet for that. They gotta work on some stuff within themselves. They gotta do some healing. You know, maybe therapy would be good for them with that. But yeah. All right, we have a few more cards here from Love Story, and we'll see what else we need to know. Your friends are my friends are your friends. Okay, so I don't feel like this person is completely like outside of your circle. So even if you guys are not like romantically connected right now at this time, I don't feel like you guys are like total zero, no contact, no communication, no nothing, because I feel like you guys have mutual friends. You have a mutual friend group. So it's like, even if you're not talking directly to them, you're able to get a pretty good handle on how they are and what's happening in their life, just as they are with you, because you guys have all these mutual contacts. So, you know, whether that's you know, people in school or maybe at work, or, you know, however it is that the connection is there. But I definitely feel like You guys have mutual connections. So this most likely is not like an internet thing or whatever, because most of the time when, we meet people through like online dating, there's not really going to be like mutual friends because there wasn't like a mutual space that you met. So I definitely feel like there's a mutual community space there, kind of a thing. And we have, you are my forever, you are my everything. So, I know this is probably a rough season for you right now. Like, quite honestly, you wouldn't be here or sitting here looking at this pick a card reading, questioning, wanting to know what's going on if things were perfectly hunky-dory. People who are perfectly content and perfectly happy in their relationships typically don't go seeking love reading pick a cards. That's not to say that it doesn't happen, because I'm sure it does, but I don't feel like it's the norm. So most likely if you're here, you're probably struggling, you're probably questioning, you're probably second guessing. And this is a card here to remind you that, like, hey, you know what? Like, you're not crazy. This connection is real. It is genuine. You are in a rough patch right now, but just because it's a rough patch, just because things are temporarily not where you want them to be, doesn't mean that it's going to stay that way forever. What you feel is real, and your connection is true, and it is genuine. And believe me, I am not a blow smoke up your ass type of channel. If someone's not into you, if this relationship is a waste of your time, I'll be blunt and I will tell you. I will tell you with love, obviously, because I care, but that's not what's coming through in the cards. It's coming through as like, yes, there's a difficult and challenging season that you're in right now dealing with this person, but it's not a toxic situation. No one makes me cry as much as you do. So, I mean, you love hard, you love big when it comes to this person. And that's the thing, not just when it comes down to love and romance, but the harder we love, the bigger we love, like the deeper the depths are of like sadness and mourning. Like, think about like when someone dies, when someone passes away. If this was someone that, you loved with all of your heart and you had such a strong connection to, and you were so close, then yeah, it's going to be really, really hard when that person passes. The grieving is going to be excruciating. When we don't care as deeply, that doesn't mean that we're heartless. It just means that we don't feel that pain to that kind of level and that kind of depth. So, bottom line is, the deeper we love, the deeper our pain can be, but also the higher the heights of like euphoria and ecstasy can be when things are going great. So, you're probably here right now is what it comes down to, because you're not with this person. There is a timing issue. Your heart is still connected to them, and you do still love them, and you do still care about them. And there's no shame in that. I feel like a lot of the times people shame this kind of depth of love, but don't feel shameful about it. Like, it's a beautiful thing. Obviously keep it in check, and don't go like crazy stalker person or anything on this person. Don't forget to take care of you and still live your own life, obviously, but it's okay to have those big feelings. It really is. And it's okay to cry, release, let it out. If anything, letting it out is what's going to help be a part of the healing process here for you. Oh, this is good news, you guys. I'm so glad that you got this card. This is helpful. This is very hopeful, if anything. I'm working on myself to better my future. So we have this guy, and look where he is. He is sitting in, I gotta bring it closer to the camera so you guys can see. Hopefully it's not blurry. But he's sitting in a therapy session. So that's exactly what we want here. If we're dealing with a person here who has problems expressing themselves, they have issues opening up and being vulnerable and sharing things to true depth and true intimacy, which is what you need for a relationship to succeed. And that's been the big rift here. Let this person take their time in therapy, because that doesn't mean that like they're just gonna like stop therapy one day and be like completely healed and completely brand new. I feel like therapy is an ongoing process, and there are times in our life where maybe we need it, and then maybe times we take time off from it, and then times we return to it again. And but bottom line is, this person is doing work. They are working on themselves, and that's a beautiful thing. That's an exciting thing. So I know it hurts right now, and it's painful being separated from this person, and that's obviously not what you want. But let them keep working on themselves, because that's a good thing. That's going to bring you closer to where you actually want to be with this person. And we have thinking of reaching out to you. So I do feel like with the amount of work that this person has been doing in therapy or whatever other methods that they are using to better their life and work on themselves, it has gotten them to the place where they are thinking of reaching out to you. Now, be mindful, this card does say thinking. It does not mean that they're actually going to do it. I always put that disclaimer with this card. There's a difference between thinking about it and then actually taking the action to do it. This is definitely a precursor to them actually doing it, and they very well might. They may decide to actually do that, but if they don't get down about it, don't get upset about it or anything like that. But the fact that they are thinking about it, it definitely shows the fact that they do consider you, that you have probably been a part of the process here of things that they've been working on within themselves. If they don't do it yet, it's probably just because they're still in the process of working on themselves, and they're probably trying to find the right time to actually reach out to you, which is why, we have the timing issue card that came through earlier. So they're just trying to figure out the right time to do that. But otherwise, I feel like overall, now that we have all the cards out, I don't feel like I need to pull anymore. I was considering maybe if I needed to pull more emotion related cards, but I feel like we have an overall healthy gist here as to what's happening in the emotions department here on both ends of things. Overall, to summarize, this is definitely a good, solid connection. It is not toxic. You are not crazy. This person does love you and care about you. You do love them and care about them. So this connection is real. There's just definitely been some external baggage that has needed to be worked out. This person is definitely working on it. I do feel like it's going to take time though, because, we didn't have any timing come through that was definite in regards to this being resolved in the near future. So this may kind of be like a long haul kind of work in progress, but it is a work in progress is what you guys need to remember. And, good things come to those who wait, good things come to those who hustle, and the best things in life are also worth waiting for. And I know those are all very cliche, but they're also very true. So, there are definitely worse ways that this all could have come through for you. But, at the end of the day, I also remind people about free will. And if you feel that this connection is worth keeping and worth fighting for, then fight for it. And I feel like for the most part, you guys do, because the emotions are very strong here on your end too. So, if you feel that it's worth fighting for, keep fighting for it. I would say as they are working on themselves, you guys do whatever it is that you need to do to work on yourselves. The stuff that you do to work on yourself may not necessarily look the same as them. It may not necessarily look identical in terms of like going to therapy. Maybe it's something else for you guys. Maybe you guys need to work on your career or work on your finances or work on something with your family or your health or something like that. But there's definitely probably something that you could be working on while they're busy working on their thing. And I think as long as you focus on that, it'll eventually wind up leading you guys back together again as you both work on your own respective things. So that's basically what I have for you guys. If this message did not apply, then just let it fly. But if it did make sense for you, of course, now you know. Once again, you guys, as I wrap this up, I would ask you to go ahead and give this video a big thumbs up because that helps me out a lot here on the YouTube algorithm. Leave me a comment down below. Of course, I would love to know if this did resonate for you. If it did, let me know how. You know, I'm always willing to communicate with you guys in the comments and talk about these readings too. So, you know, let's have a conversation. And of course, I invite you to go ahead and subscribe and hit that notification bell. Of course, by doing that, once again, you will be up to date and in the know every time a brand new video is posted, uploaded, any new information that I need to share with you guys will be the first in the know, obviously. And finally, you guys, head on over to shadowandshine.com, my website, if you are interested in your own personal reading. Also, if you're interested in one of these oracle decks, both of these, love story and in my feels, they are available over on my website. So if you want to own these decks for yourself, you can do that over there. So yeah, so shadowandshine.com, your one-stop shop for everything. And I invite you guys to join me over on Patreon too. It is such a cool and fun community. There are weekly card pulls, daily card pulls, all that fun stuff. So yeah, so check out all that stuff. And links to everything, once again, are down below, whether it's my website, Patreon, all that good stuff. So that's pretty much it. I hope you guys enjoyed this reading, and I am sending you guys lots of hugs and much love. Keep sparkling. Hi, Pile 2. If you chose the Quartz Tower with Tourmaline in it, then this is going to be the reading for you to find out what is happening in your love life at this time. Our massively extensive love reading. All right, we're going to put a little tourmaline quartz guy here. And let's get started. So we have our pile of cards here, but before I start pulling from there officially, I'm going to pull 3 cards really quick from my brand new love deck, Love Story. And I'm just setting the intention here to be past, present, future. We're going to get 1 card for each. So, okay, there's past. All right, there's present because it wants to fall out. And future. Okay. All right, there we go. So past, your kisses are sweet like candy. All right, so I mean, that's pretty self-explanatory. That's definitely not a bad thing. In the past, this person has enjoyed your kisses, clearly. You probably have enjoyed theirs. So I do feel like that means that there's probably a person of interest in your life, a significant person, whether this is someone you're currently with or not currently with, but there's definitely history here. Like, obviously there's history. You've already been smacking on each other. So, all right, so this was the present. We have, you make me feel alive. Okay, so that tells me that in the present moment, you guys are probably doing pretty good. So, I mean, that's a good thing. We have 2 positive cards right off the bat for the past and for the present. So, okay, you make me feel alive. All right. And for the future, now this is where it's a little interesting here. We'll have to see how this relates to what's coming through here. getting to know each other too early to tell, which is interesting because if you guys already have this history where you're kissing and probably doing other things too for that matter, and this person makes you feel alive and vice versa, like, you know, things feel pretty euphoric here. Things feel pretty high and wonderful and feeling fantastic. So we'll see exactly the context of the future card. But if you guys are continuing this relationship, I see this as two possible things, and I don't want to say one of the possible things simply because we don't know what's in here just yet, and also because things are going so well for you right now. Like, I don't want to say it if things are going well, but I have to be honest and I have to be straight up here. So if things for some reason fall apart between you guys, this too early to tell thing could be a new person coming along, a new person where it's like you're just getting to know each other. You don't know each other very well. You know, this is like a coffee date. So it's like just getting to know someone. Or on the flip side, on the more positive side, if it is the same person, if it is this person, it could be kind of like starting over in a sense. It could be starting a new chapter. It could be getting to know each other in a new way, in a new level, in a deeper level. So we'll have to see what comes through here to kind of know what the full context of is for this future card. So we'll just kind of like set this one here on hold to see how that plays out. But for the most part, for the past and present, that's all looking hunky-dory. So now we're going to look at some cards here from In My Feels, which is also one of my oracle decks. This one is all about emotions and feelings. So we're basically going to see like what's going on here in terms of how you may feel about them, how they may feel about you, just, you know, what the emotional health is of this connection. Oh, interesting. Petty, frivolous, shallow. Okay, interesting. So this definitely gives me a little bit more context as to your past and your present, at least. So, you know, I'm not saying that these two cards are bad, because they're not. They're positive, they're fun, they're uplifting, but there's not depth to either one of these. You know, it could be that this connection is new, um, as a whole. Like maybe that's one of the reasons why this it's too early to tell card came through. Maybe this connection is like brand spanking new, like you just met this person. Maybe you're in the honeymoon phase with this person, because when we're in that honeymoon phase with somebody, they do make us feel alive. It's like you're up on cloud nine. It's like nothing can knock you down. You know, it's like this person craps rainbows and butterflies, basically. Um, like nothing could possibly go wrong. But, and, you know, that's a fun feeling, but it is very short lived, and no solid long term relationship can obviously function off of that kind of energy. Um, so with the petty card coming through, what this tells me is your relationship at this time, while it may be fun and it may make you feel good and it may bring you a lot of high highs, it doesn't have a lot of depth yet to it. Because when we have depth, when we have vulnerability and openness and like a true solid connection that's been established, um, it's not frivolous, it's not shallow. I mean, quite literally, this card here says shallow. So as of right now, um, I'm not saying that this connection is bad. I'm saying that it might be too new. That may be why we have this card coming through. Maybe it was a completely different reason than I originally thought. That this connection, it is too early to tell. That's probably what is going on here. That it probably is too early to tell what's going to happen. So, you know, once again, I'm not saying this connection is bad. I'm just saying that it is probably new and there's probably not a lot of depth to it, that it's probably a shallow connection. And if it is shallow, you do have to be careful because pettiness could come up. It could become an issue. But let's see what else comes through here. Surprised, shocked, awestruck, maybe. All right, I'm going to put this one down here because I don't know what the surprise is yet, but maybe the rest of the cards are going to tell us what is going to be so shocking here in this relationship. I mean, once again, if this is a new connection, which is what it is looking like this is, I would say if you know this person really well, if this person has been in your life for a long time, then this may not be your group. You may want to pick one of the other piles because, you know, overall, everything that's coming through here is definitely giving like new relationship vibes, a new person vibes. You know, you don't know each other very well. And when you don't know someone very well, there could be a lot of surprises in store. Could be surprises coming up. That doesn't mean one way or another, once again, necessarily that those surprises are going to be good or bad. You know, that's all kind of up to the person receiving those surprises. Just like beauty is in the eyes of the beholder, beauty is in the eyes of the surprise receiver, I guess you could say. So once again, it's not necessarily bad. It's just saying that this is so new that that there's just not a lot of depth yet, that there's not a lot of direction yet, because there's not very much history. So like I said, if you have history with your person, this is probably not going to be your pile. Greedy, selfish, egotistical. So that's interesting. We have the greedy card and we have the petty card. So I feel like these two energies kind of go hand in hand. You know, when someone is being greedy, like that pettiness can come into play as well. And this doesn't necessarily have to be about money. Like I know the guy is hugging a wad of cash on the card, but it doesn't necessarily have to be. I mean, it could be about money, but it doesn't have to be. It could be greedy in terms of, like, for example, this is a new relationship. Maybe this person is greedy in terms of maybe they talk about themselves all the time and they don't really give time for you to share or to really like get to know you or anything like that. So it could be greedy in terms of that. It could be greedy also in terms of how you guys spend your time. Like maybe this person is always just like, oh, let's go here, let's go there, let's do this, let's do that. And it's always what they want to do when they want to do it, where they want to go, and that kind of thing. And maybe there's not a lot of like input on what it is that you want to do and when you want to do certain things. So it could be, I feel like it's probably more so greedy in those terms and like money terms. Not saying it's not money, it could be, but I feel like it's being more so greedy about certain things within the relationship, that they may kind of make things more so about themselves. And you may not necessarily be like seeing that or picking up on that right now, because you know you enjoy their kisses and they make you feel alive and you're all in this like honeymoon period. But these are things that may start appearing, that may start becoming cracks in the foundation, I guess you could say. And that could be the thing that winds up being the surprise, especially if this person makes you feel so good right now. It's like, oh my gosh, how can you be so greedy? How can you be so self-absorbed? Blah, blah, blah. I'm not saying this person is a narcissist or anything like that, because every single human being on the face of this person has a certain level of narcissism to them. Narcissism is a spectrum. So just because someone has narcissistic tendencies doesn't mean that they are like full-blown diagnosed NPD type of people. But there could be power play issues there. So anyway, let's see what else we have. Focused, centered, concentrate on the target. Okay, so I feel like this card is more so a note to you guys. And, once again, this is a new connection. You wouldn't have gotten involved in it if you weren't like open and available and maybe like looking for a relationship yourself. So I would say stay focused on what you want. Think about what it was that you were looking for before you met this person. So if there are certain standards that you have in a relationship, if there are certain qualities that you want in a potential lifelong partner, stay focused on those things. Stay focused on what matters to you and your heart and your life and your direction, and make sure that this person meshes with that. Now, no person is going to be perfect, obviously. I'm not saying, hold out and wait for like the most perfect person on the planet, because that just that's not realistic. That doesn't exist. However, I am saying, make sure that you are focused on what you want out of this relationship, and that things can be balanced out enough in a way where your needs are being met, where they are being respectful of boundaries, and all of those important healthy types of things that you need in a successful relationship. So keep your eye on your prize in terms of that, and try not to be clouded by just like the honeymoon phase stuff that's happening right now. And then we also have curious, inquisitive, asking questions. So this is a great card to come through, especially in regards to a new relationship. What's the best way to get to know somebody? Ask questions, right? I forget what the name of the game is, but I keep seeing this game advertised all over TikTok lately. It's actually meant to be played with like members of your family, especially like older members of your family and that kind of thing. If you want to get to know certain things about them before they pass and everything. But I feel like this game could probably be good for anybody, because they're all questions that involve like getting to know someone and basically their life story. So, maybe do something like that, like play a game where it kind of like opens up the road of the questions for that. But yeah, ask questions. And that doesn't mean that you have to go all like FBI research on them or anything like that. I would say, make the questions natural, and squeeze them in the appropriate times. If you guys are talking about like your favorite ice cream or something like that, like maybe you're going to go out and get ice cream, you're talking about food or something like that, don't suddenly be just like, oh, so like, what was the most embarrassing thing that ever happened to you when you were like in junior high, middle school, or whatever? Like, I don't know. Or talk about your childhood trauma, or like just pick up the social cues is what I'm saying, as to when the right time may be to ask these questions. But I feel like that's definitely a good thing, because if you ask these questions, you get to know them better, then that's helping you stay focused on what you want out of a relationship, to know if this person is really going to be your person or not. And then you won't have as many surprises when weird things may possibly come up, because then if something weird does come up, you're automatically going to be like, oh, okay, well, yeah, that makes sense. um so yeah, but overall I feel like, especially with the emotions that are coming through right now, I feel like that definitely answers what this card is all about. It's not a new person coming in. I do feel like that this is referencing the person in this situation. It's just clarifying the fact that this is a very new relationship. It's a very new situation. So let's get a few more love cards to see what else we need to know about what's happening or where this may be going. Let's grow old together. So, I mean, that's definitely a positive card. There may be some bumps along the road here that you need to figure out with this person. Like I said, there may be a little push and pull here when it comes to the power dynamics, but I do feel like with a card coming through like this, that means that you're thinking long term. Chances are they may be thinking long term as well. It's hard to tell, obviously, when something is so new and so early. But let's see what else we have here. Even in the worst of times, I will be there for you. So, I mean, that's definitely going to put the relationship to the test. It may be all, hearts and, you know, just being in that honeymoon, flying up above the air and everything. It may be like this beautiful space that you guys are in right now, but inevitably real life is going to kick in at some point. I'm not saying the fairy tale is going to end, but the fairy tale is going to get real one way or another at some point. So that doesn't mean that things are going to go wrong between the two of you, but eventually you may come across challenges and stressors. They may come across problems and issues. It may not have anything to do with one another, but just different things, different obstacles and challenges you each may experience in life. Like on this card, we have a guy here who is laying in a hospital bed. He's obviously sick or injured. There's something going on. And we have this girl that is by his side, being supportive and encouraging and doing whatever she can to help him in his time of need. Now, obviously, it was probably not her fault that he's laying in a hospital bed. So that's why I'm saying things happen in life. Life things happen. So with that being said, your relationship is new. You probably haven't experienced these types of things yet. But eventually, at some point, these things will probably start happening because life is not perfect. And the good thing is, especially if you're both kind of focused on wanting to make this a long-term situation, which is a good thing, then when you're long-term with someone, you're going to want to stand by their side when they go through difficulties and challenges. All right, what else do we have? Heartbroken. You've shattered my heart into a million pieces. Okay, so I kind of get this vibe is basically going to be like, this is going to be the result for you guys if you don't stay focused on what it is that you want on a relationship, and if you don't ask those questions. Because I don't know, like, I'm not saying that you guys need predictability. Maybe I feel like I'm almost tapping into like someone who may be like an earth sign or something like that, but someone who enjoys predictability, someone who wants stability and something that they can count on, something that's grounded. And if that's you, then surprises are probably not going to go over very well for you, even if they're not like ill-intended. You're probably going to like really internalize them in a way that's not going to be good, and it's probably going to be internalized in a way that you're going to like take it to the next level and be heartbroken. So I'm not saying that this energy is going to happen. I'm not saying that you're going to be heartbroken or that this relationship is going to end. But I am saying you run the risk of ultimately hurting yourself without bringing focus to what it is that you want and without asking those questions and really taking your time to get to know this person. So, I realize that the heat and the passion and the desire is probably off the hook right now, but come up from air every once in a while and try to have a conversation. Just try to have a conversation. Stop touching each other so much and just talk. Okay. Ghosting you is easier than talking to you. Okay, so this could be one of those surprises, honestly. Because, we had that surprise card come through. We have that heartbroken card here. So, and this is obviously on them, not you, if they wind up ghosting you at some point. Now, if they do, I don't feel like it's because they don't care about you or anything like that, because we had these other cards come out here earlier with let's grow old together and being there for each other in, the worst of times. So, you can't like be there for someone and then ghost them at the same time, right? That's a total oxymoron. Um, so I feel like either one of two things are going to happen. Either this person will wind up ghosting you early on in the relationship, which will be a surprise because they probably have some of their own like residual stuff that they need to kind of heal and work on and take care of, which ultimately will wind up leaving you heartbroken. I do feel like, once again, though, if you stay focused on what you want and you ask them questions, you might be able to avoid that, because you might be able to have some uncomfortable, awkward conversations in a sense that might avoid them from ghosting you, because they'll have to like address some stuff, is what it comes down to. And if they don't ghost you, I feel like this is coming through because they may feel the temptation to. Doesn't mean they will officially, but they could feel the temptation to. And then we have let's spend the holidays together. So we have this couple enjoying their Christmas cookies by a Christmas tree. It's snowing in the window. Obviously, I realize it is springtime right now. It is nowhere near the holidays. Ironically, it did actually snow here just yesterday, just last night, because I live in Colorado and that's what we do here for springtime. So it could have felt like the holidays here at least. But with this holidays card coming through, I do feel like it is an indicator that, you guys definitely could continue to work this out to make this happen and spend the holidays together. So, once again, as a whole, overall, the energy of this group basically comes across as it's a new relationship, it's a new connection. So it is in a sense really early to kind of see where this is going to grow and where this is going to develop. I feel like you guys are really enjoying the honeymoon time right now, which is totally fine and that's great, but try not to get lost in the clouds of it. Try to come back down to earth. Remember the things that you really want. Ask them questions to get to know them better, to limit the surprises, to limit any like negative things that could happen, like ghosting each other. But I do feel like there's a lot of great potential in this relationship, in this connection. I feel like a lot of the power and ability for this to be successful ultimately is in your hands. You're a co-creator with the universe and you have a say as to how this goes and what you want and what you desire and what happens here. So if you want it to go well, like I said, try to come down from the clouds just a little bit, just long enough to grab the wheel and kind of drive this thing along to where you want it to go. So that's basically what I see happening for you guys, my lovely pile number 2 people. So if the message didn't apply, let it fly. But if it did resonate, of course, now you know. So as I wrap this reading up for you guys, I would just ask you to give this video a big thumbs up, because that helps me out a lot here on the YouTube algorithm. If this reading resonated for you, if it made sense, if you have questions, anything you want to talk about, feel free to drop me a comment down below in the comment section. I would love to hear from you, and I'm always there to talk and to have an exchange with you guys there. If I resonate with you as a reader, I also invite you to go ahead and subscribe at this time and hit that notification bell. By doing that, you will be up to date and in the know every time a new reading is uploaded and posted, every time I have a brand new update on really anything and everything. And you guys will be in the first to know all that stuff. And if I really, really, really resonate with you as a reader, head on over to my website, shadowandshine.com. You can book your very own personal reading over there. And if you enjoyed these oracle decks, love story, and in my feels, they are both available for purchase over there, as well as some of my other oracle decks. So yeah, shadowandshine.com is basically the one-stop shop for everything, whether it's readings, oracle decks, or anything else that you need to know going on with me. And also, you guys, I invite you to join my Patreon. Patreon is super cool. It is a wonderful community over there. We have weekly card pulls, daily card pulls. The Discord is great when it comes to support and encouragement and, talking about all types of things, whether it's twin flames, astrology, spirituality, crystals, you name it, we got it. So I invite you to join my Patreon as well. And even if you just want to come on over as a free member for a little while too, that's totally welcomed as well. So yeah, that is basically that. So once again, you guys, all of that information is in the description box down below. My website, shadowandshine.com, as well as Patreon and my other socials and everything else that you need to know. So that's basically that. Anyways, I hope that this assisted you guys. I appreciate you so incredibly much. I am sending you guys lots of hugs and much love. Keep sparkling. Hi, pile 3. If you chose the titanium Aura Quartz Tower, which is dark but very pretty, then this is going to be the reading for you to find out what's happening in your love life. And this is going to be a very, very in-depth look. So let's get into it. All right, before we get into our pile of cards that have already been shuffled out for you, I'm going to shuffle out 3 more cards really quick from my love deck, love story that I created. And I'm basically setting the intention here to be past, present, future. So I want to get 3 more cards strictly with the intention of past, present, future for you guys. Where has this relationship been? Where is it now? And where is it going? So let's see. Okay, we got past. Let's see about present. Present. Where is it presently? You guys are kind of being stubborn. The first 2 piles. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. And future. There we go. All right. So, all right. We have our past card that came out first here. So we have player mode. Not ready to settle down. So this could be you if you're single, for example. This could be your energy where maybe you are kind of the player and you are playing the field and you were just like, you know what? I'm not interested in settling down. I just want to go out there and I just want to date and I just want to meet new people and have new experiences, and I'm not really interested in commitment at this time. So this could be you. Or if there is a person of significance in your life, a particular person of interest, this could be their energy, and they could have been the player in their past before they met you, before they came across you. So we'll obviously get more clarity on whether this was you or them as we go along here, but regardless, somebody was a player once upon a lifetime in the past. All right, this one's the future energy, and this one's the present energy. Wow. well, That is quite the switch. I was not expecting that. So we go from no commitment whatsoever to all the commitment in the world with will you marry me? Okay, so this is what I kind of take from this. I don't take it as literal as the card. I don't take it as an actual literal proposal where someone is proposing marriage. However, what I do see it as is a change of heart. That once upon a time, somebody was non-committal and just wanted to play the field and didn't want to, choose one person, but something changed. Something switched. There was a switch in their mindset, whether, once again, it's you or a person that you're connected to. And they changed their mind, is what it comes down to. And now they're deciding right now, in this present moment, that they actually want commitment. That, being a player, playing the field, just like sleeping with endless amounts of women or whatever, like if it's a guy, that it feels empty, that it feels meaningless, that it's not fulfilling. So I feel like someone definitely kind of came to a head and had this turnaround where they're just like, yeah, I don't want that anymore. Like, I only want to be with one person. Like, I want a relationship. Like, I want a partnership, someone that I can laugh with, that I can cry with, someone that can go through life's ups and downs with me. Someone where there's true depth and intimacy and stuff like that. Someone that I can truly make a commitment to. So I feel like there was a change of heart here, and that's where this person is now thinking, whether that's you or a person that you're connected to. And with the summer love coming out for the future, this tells me that that commitment is probably going to start happening this summer. So if it's you who's the player, you're probably making that decision right now that you want more of a commitment, and that you may wind up meeting someone in the summer that you will want to make that commitment with, that you'll want to actually grow an in-depth and meaningful connection to. And if it's somebody that you're connected to, because like I said, this could go one of two ways. Maybe I'm picking up on two different situations that are like mirror images of each other in opposites. But if it's your person of interest, they're the ones who have had the change of heart from being a player to wanting to commit, and that they will probably want to commit to you coming up during the summer. And summer is not that far from now, because it's late April now, and before we know it, June, July, it's going to be here. All right, so now we have our past, present, future kind of setting the tone as to the timeline as to what's happening here. Let's now get into our in the feels cards. So we have some cards here from In My Feels. These are cards all about emotions, basically, whether it's tapping into your emotions or their emotions, or maybe how you guys mutually feel for one another. But it's all about our feelings, basically. And this is, once again, another oracle deck of mine. And let's see what's happening here. Ooh, cloud 9, elated, walking on air. So this is definitely a very happy, delighted, lighthearted, uplifting type of feeling. So I feel like with the change of heart here, from wanting to actually make a commitment and starting this summer love, that in the summertime, that's when this emotion of being on cloud 9 is basically going to wind up happening. So once again, if it's you who is the player turned I want to commit to someone, you're going to find someone this summer who's going to make you feel like you're on cloud 9. or if it's your person, like someone you're already connected to and involved in, if it's that person, then when they come around this summer to connect with you and to like actually make a commitment, like obviously that's going to put you on cloud nine, especially if you've been dealing with someone who has been in player mode for a long time, and for them to like suddenly drop those ways and no longer be interested in that, and like they truly want to commit to you and everything, of course that's going to put you on cloud nine. Like who wouldn't be ecstatic about that? Uh-oh. Oh, okay. Betrayed, bamboozled, fooled. We're going to come back to this. I want to see what the rest of the emotion cards say, because we may get a read on what this may be about. I'm really hoping it's not like they put you on cloud nine and then wind up betraying you. Like that would completely suck. And I don't want that to be the situation. And that's why I'm not saying that's the situation. I need more context. I need to see what else is coming in here. Oh God. Oh no. Oh, depressed, defeated, hopeless. Okay, so like obviously if someone did like bring you to the tops of the mountains in terms of emotions, making you feel elated, being on cloud nine, and then, you know, they basically betrayed you, that would leave someone feeling very depressed. Like I get that. Okay. Let me get a little bit more clarity here. Okay. Okay. We got the horny card. I'm just going to see what this one says just for reference. Okay, mysterious, unknown, cryptic. Okay. All right. So this message definitely just took a plot twist that I am not excited about. Not the plot twist that I wanted. Okay. So I feel like you guys could be dealing. Now I'm getting more clarity as a whole as to what's going on here. So while there's always the chance that you could be the player turned want to commit person, given the rest of the context of what's come through here, I feel like it's probably more likely that the player is probably your person of interest. And in this present moment, yeah, they're having a change of heart. They do want to commit. And they're going to wind up coming to you this summer, and it is going to put you on cloud nine. But I feel like it's kind of short-lived, unfortunately. Not to say that they don't care about you, but I feel like it's kind of like the whole thing of it's awfully hard to teach a dog new tricks. And I feel like if they've been this player in the past, they've probably been that player for a very long time. That this could be a difficult, habitual thing to break. Like, almost like it's yeah, it's habitual. It's like they don't even think about it. They're not even necessarily setting out to do it on purpose. They just wind up going on autopilot and doing it. You know, it's like when you get in your car and, you know, let's say you're going to your local Target. You know where your local Target is. You don't have to put it in the GPS. You don't have to like go out of your way to think about where you have to turn and what street you go on. You're on autopilot. You just do it because you just know it. It's familiar. It's habit. And I feel like this may be habit for this person. Not necessarily that they're purposefully going out and doing that, but they just fall back on bad habits. And unfortunately, I feel like they may put you on cloud nine, and their own like natural horniness basically may wind up getting to them, because they're like this horn dog player that goes right back into player mode. And if they do that, of course, that would be like a massive diss to you and a massive betrayal that would suck to the extreme, obviously, and in the end wind up making you depressed. And I don't want that for you guys. And as for the mysterious part, you know, I feel like if they wind up following this track and if they wind up repeating old habits, and I feel like you know this about them, like even if you haven't been romantically involved with them yet, and maybe this is like the first time, you know, they're actually going to like commit to you or something, maybe you have been involved with them in the past, but I feel like this is a pattern. This player mode thing here is a pattern for you. And I feel, or a pattern for them. And when they wind up committing to you and, you know, having this beautiful summer love, putting you on cloud nine, it's almost going to feel like a mystery to you when they do this stuff, because things will be going so well despite the patterns. It's going to be going so well, it's really going to throw you for a loop when they do that, which, like I said, is not fun, not good. I really want some other good stuff here for you guys. Let's see what comes through for you for the rest of your cards from Love Story. And hopefully there's some kind of clarity coming in, or some kind of happy ending, at least for you personally, even if it doesn't involve this person, because like I don't even know who this person is, but I'm like mad for you guys, because if they suddenly like turn this all around, act like they want to commit to you, you know, put you up on cloud nine, and then all of a sudden do all this shitty behavior, like that makes me mad for you guys. Like, I care about my collective. I genuinely care about my collective, and this makes me mad, and you guys deserve better. Anyways, let's see what we got here. Come on, give us something good. You are my muse. You put the creative spark back in my art. Okay. So one of the positive things, at least out of depression, is creativity. Not to say that you cannot be creative from a happy place, because creativity can honestly be birthed from anything. But you know, you can ask any artist, whether it's music, like in the picture here, or a painting, or a dance performance, or a book that's written, or anything, any kind of artist, any kind of creative work that's put out there, that most of the time when people put those things out there, it is coming from a place of pain and suffering and having been through it. I mean, for example, Taylor Swift just released the Tortured Poets Department. Have you guys listened to that album yet? Like, she released 31 new songs, and it's not called the Tortured Poets Department for no reason. It's not the Happy Poets Department. So, those are all like very painful and personal lyrics and stories that she's written. And I mean, it is like the album that you listen to if you just want to like get into your feels and cry, is what it comes down to. And I promise you, that did not come from her happy experiences. That came from times she probably felt very, very depressed and down and out. And that's not just reflected in that album, but she's definitely had other songs and other music she's written where, it reflects that kind of energy. And she's not the only artist who's done that either. There's plenty of artists who have done that. So I feel like, with that being said, you don't have to necessarily do music, but I feel like When this happens, one of the ways that you can make lemonade out of these lemons is to get creative. Don't just sit in the depression. Make use of it, because you are not the only person who has dealt with a crappy player who basically hasn't changed. What is that phrase? A cheetah doesn't change its spots, or whatever it is. That's basically what you're dealing with here. So put it to good use. Yes, this person is going to be a muse for you to a certain degree, but they're a muse for you, and to express yourself and your creativity and to touch other people's hearts is what it comes down to. It's not for their benefit, it's for yours. You are my friend. You are my best friend, my lover, and my lifelong partner. Now, this is the energy that you guys truly, truly deserve. I feel like this is, what it is that you're ultimately seeking and what you're ultimately wanting in a partner. And this is what you guys deserve. You guys don't deserve this. You don't deserve a player who decides they want to be with you and then goes right back into old bad habits. You guys don't deserve that. You deserve someone who will actually be the full package for you. That doesn't mean they're the perfect person, but that means that they will be there. Now, with this card coming through, it does tell me that is available to you. I honestly don't necessarily get the vibe that it's going to be from this person, because if this person is just repeating bad habits here, it's probably not going to be that person. But we got 3 more cards to come out here. We're going to keep seeing where this goes. You put me on an emotional roller coaster. Well, duh. They take you up the hill and they tell you they love you and they want to be with you and there's no one else but you. And then you go crashing right back down again when they go right back into old bad habits. So, of course, they're putting you on an emotional roller coaster. Once again, you deserve better than that. You don't deserve anyone who's going to put you on an emotional roller coaster. Staying away is my way of protecting you. So I feel like this person, they know deep down, they know that they can't give you what you truly need. They can't give you what you truly deserve. They know that you deserve a person who is going to commit, who is going to, not necessarily keep them on cloud 9, but, be a decent human being, be that best friend, be that lifelong partner, be that lover for just that one person. They know that you deserve that you're worthy of that. So, in a lot of ways, I feel like you've been down this road with this person before, where this cycle has repeated before, where they've been the player, they've committed to you, you guys have been together, you've been happy, then they betray you, and they cheat, and they go back into player mode, and then they change their ways, and they say, oh, they want to be with you again, and, the cycle repeats itself. I feel like this has probably happened before, so it's probably getting ready to repeat itself again. And I would strongly advise you guys to not fall for it. I can't tell you guys what to do. It's your life ultimately. You have free will. But I don't feel like it's going to end very well if you entertain this person again. It's just not a good vibe situation. So when this person is staying away to protect you, let them do that. Let them stay away. Let them stay away, because you do need to be protected from this person. And we have feeling nostalgic. I miss the way we were. So this is why they wind up coming back. They go and they play the games and they get in these ridiculous situations that are unfulfilling and shallow, and fleeting in the moment. They get themselves involved in that, and once the thrill of that begins to fade, they start to feel nostalgic. They start thinking about you because you're not like the rest of these girls. You're not like them. You're solid. You are quality. This is quantity. And they start missing the quality is what it comes down to. And they're like, oh, I really shouldn't do that anymore. She's a really genuine and sweet person. She really cares about me. She really understands me. Unlike all these girls here, they start going to that place and they start feeling nostalgic, and that's what makes them miss you and come back to you and all this other stuff. But then once again, like I said, the cycle repeats itself. So, I'm not saying that they don't care about you. I do feel like this person does care about you to a degree, because if they didn't care about you at all, then they wouldn't do this whole, I stay away to protect you thing. So I do feel like they care about you. It's not that they have zero emotions towards you. However, I don't feel like they care about you enough to give you the priority that you deserve, is what it comes down to. I don't feel like they're willing to step up, at least right now, to give you what you deserve. This is someone who obviously is very broken and has some issues to figure out. I don't even know if they're aware of their issues necessarily or how to go about fixing them. I feel like it's kind of a long road for this person, because this player mode thing is definitely their coping mechanism when it's triggered, and it winds up creating all this chaos in your life that's unnecessary, and you don't need that. I am going to pull one more card from In My Feels, just in terms of directions of like what you should do. Now, I haven't done this for any other group, just so you guys know. But I just want like a little bit of input here on what you guys should do, or if there's someone better coming along for you, because you guys did get this "you are my best friend, you are my lover, and you are my lifelong partner" card. And to me, that card tells me that's what you really deserve. And I want to know if there's like another person who's coming along who will give that to you. Just kind of like any input on you bettering your life beyond this person, because I don't feel like getting involved with this person again is really in your best interest. There we go. Yes. Okay. So the one thing that I love about In My Feels is every single card comes with a yes, no, or maybe message attached to it. And I did ask, is there someone better coming along? And you got yes. And I love the fact that you got the genuine card, because that means that whoever the new person is that's coming in is going to be genuine. They're going to be honest. They're going to be truthful, as opposed to this person who obviously wouldn't know the truth if it bit them on the ass. So, once again, it is your life, and you need to make the decisions for your life based upon what works best for you, but just based upon the energy, based upon the cards that are coming through. My recommendation would be stop entertaining this person, because this is an unhealthy cycle that's just going to continue to repeat itself. And instead, say yes to the genuine person when they come along. I don't know when they're coming along, but they are coming. They are out there. They are available to you. But it's going to be a lot harder to say yes to this person if you're already wrapped up in the cycle of chaos with this person. So that's basically what I have for you guys, and what's going on for you in your love life, and what you need to know dealing with that. If the message didn't apply, just let it fly. Not a big deal. If it did resonate, of course, now you know. And I would love to hear from you guys. So drop me a comment down below. Let's have a conversation. Let's discuss, did this make sense for you? Did it not make sense for you? Did it help? Do you have any questions? Let me know. I would love to hear from you. And of course, if you guys could do me a solid and give this video a big thumbs up, that also helps me out a lot here, right here on this YouTube algorithm. If I resonate with you as a reader, I invite you to go ahead and subscribe at this time and hit that notification bell. By doing that, you will be up to date and in the know every time a brand new reading goes up, every time there's a new update, every time there is a new anything on anything that you guys need to know. Obviously, you will know by hitting the notification bell when you subscribe. And if I really, really, really wind up resonating with you as a reader and you want to dive in deep just for yourself on a personal level, I would love to assist you on your journey. And you are welcome to check out my website, shadowandshine.com. By doing that, you can find personal readings that are available there for you. And you can also find these two oracle decks, Love Story and In My Feels. They are each available there for purchase, so you can have these decks for yourself. And I have other decks there as well. So, whether it's oracle decks, readings, or anything else that you need to know, shadowandshine.com is basically the one-stop shop for pretty much anything and everything. So you are welcome to do that. And also, I want to invite you guys over to my Patreon. Patreon is such a fun place to be. It's a really good community there. We have daily card pulls, weekly card pulls, and really everything in between. So I would love to have you guys over there. Like I said, it's a lot of fun. And even if you want to just join as like a free member, just to kind of like get your feet wet before being a paid member or anything like that, you are welcome to stop on by. Oh, hello. Sorry about that, you guys. I'm yawning. It's late as I'm recording this, so the yawns are kicking in. Anyways, once again, links to all of that information, whether it's my website, my Patreon, my other social media, or any of that kind of good stuff, it is all in the description down below, so feel free to check that out. Otherwise, I appreciate you guys. Thank you for stopping on by and hanging out here with me for a little bit today. It definitely means the world to me. I am sending you guys lots of hugs and much love. Keep sparkling. Hi, Pile 4. If you chose the Golden Healer Quartz Tower, then this is going to be the reading for you to find out what is happening in your love life at this time. So yes, we're going to dive in deep. We're going to see what is happening, see what you guys need to know. Now we have our pile of cards right here. But before we officially get into that group, I am going to pull 3 more cards really quick from Love Story, my own oracle deck. It's a love deck, obviously. And I'm pulling 3 cards with the intention of past, present, and future. So we're basically just going to get a vibe here on where you guys have been, where you are right now, and where you're headed in the future. So that's what we're looking at. So past, present, and future. Let's see what comes through. There we go. There's past. Present and future. Give us something for the future here, please. What is happening in the future? And future. All right. So here we go. So in the past, Well, we're starting out strong here, right out the gate. Making love to you is ecstasy. So I definitely feel like there is a person of interest here. Um, a very significant connection, obviously, and it's been pretty hot and heavy. So there's been a lot of sex in the past, is what it comes down to. A lot of physical intimacy happening. So let's dive in deeper and see what else is happening. Where are you guys at presently? That may have been the past, but let's see what came through for your present. Oh, oh my goodness. Lone wolf, single life. Okay, so if this was with a particular person, obviously it's telling me that you guys are not together right now. That either you're single, they're single, you're both single, but either way, this is not happening. If it is happening, it's happening in a sense where you're not declared as being an item being together, but either way, no one is committed here. No one is committed. Let's see what's coming up in the future. I love the way you make me laugh. So if it is with this connection here, I mean, you guys could be reunited. There could be some laughter and some good times ahead. And I don't just mean those kinds of good times. I mean, like, genuine communication, like lighthearted, positive, good times. So, I mean, this is definitely a good direction to go in. That's for sure. But let's see what else we need to know. We have some cards here from In My Feels, which is my oracle deck all about emotions. So let's get into the emotions of the situation. So we're basically going to be looking at how you may be feeling in the situation, how they may be feeling, just overall, what are the feelings in this situation? Refreshed, clean, bright, clear. Well, that's definitely a positive thing. Maybe this time of being on your own, being single, being that lone wolf, it could be a very clarifying time. And that's not unusual. You know, usually when we have to spend time on our own by ourselves, it's usually a time where we do get a lot of clarity. Not to say that clarity can't come in relationships and in connections, because we can. Same can be said for healing. You know, there's a certain amount of healing that you do on your own, and we also can find healing in relationships as well. Um, but I feel like you guys are definitely in that time period, whether it's healing, whether it's being refreshed and rejuvenated, you're definitely in that era, in that period of time where it is focused on you, just focusing on you, just being on your own, just being by yourself. So if we have that kind of energy going on in a time when you are single, basically, that pretty much tells me that this situation is probably not happening right now. Because if it was, then you would be very much so intertwined, is what it comes down to. You know, it's kind of hard not to be. So let's see what else we need to know. Jealousy, envy, discontentment. So in this time where you may be single right now, um, you know, it's a refreshing and it's a rejuvenating experience, but I feel like you guys may be experiencing a little bit of jealousy. It may not necessarily be towards this person that you are involved with. It could be. Um, but I feel like it's more so the tone of being jealous of, like, you kind of wish you weren't single in a sense. Like, you wish you were still with this person. That you, or that you were with someone in general, that you were with a person as a whole, where you were in a relationship and you were happy and you had a commitment and all this other kind of stuff. You may see other people who are coupled up, and you may be happy for them. I'm not saying that you're not happy for them, but you could be a little bit envious of them. And if that's the case, it's important to note, just because it looks a certain way on the outside doesn't mean that it translates that way on the inside. So it's like, if you see all these couples that you know, like on social media, and they're all happy and, you know, expressing their great love for one another, and, you know, sharing these happy family photos and all these other kind of things, I'm not saying that they're all miserable, but I am saying that they may not be as happy as they paint themselves out to be, in terms of their public appearance, in terms of their outer appearance, whether that's in social media or just simply what they choose to share with others. Because that's the beauty of life and what we bring to the table outside of our own homes. We don't have to share everything. We can share as much or as little as we want. And they may share a lot of the good stuff, but they may not share that time, you know, they have this big blow up fight that happens like every couple of days or whatever it is that happens. So I feel like, if anything, that jealousy is probably more so, I feel like it's more so about like just being jealous of the fact that you wish you were in a relationship and you're not, is what it comes down to. Like I said, it's not that you're not happy for others, because we can be happy for others and still envy what they have at the same time. It doesn't mean that we want their person or we want their relationship, but we may just want something that looks like that for ourselves, something that is missing in our own lives, is what it comes down to. Deceptive, liar, misleading. This is literally like what I was just saying, you guys. Like, just because somebody portrays things to be a certain way externally in their appearance, whether it's on social media or what they choose to share, what they choose to talk about, doesn't mean that it's everything it's cracked up to be. So like I said, someone could be sharing like all these happy family photos, or, you know, how they love their person so incredibly much, but it may not be everything it is cracked up to be. There could be problems behind the scenes that you're not aware of. They're probably not showing the times that they're getting into fights and that they're crying and they're having nervous breakdowns and all this other kind of stuff. So there's deception there. Don't be jealous of things that could be deceiving you, is what it comes down to, because then you're putting yourself through emotional and mental anguish over something that doesn't even really exist, is what it comes down to. And, you know, like with this person that you were initially involved with here from the past, if it's like that person, maybe they've moved on, maybe there was someone else, and maybe you're jealous of that connection. Once again, that connection may not be as healthy as you think it is. There could be problems there. There could be fractures in their foundation. It could be on the verge of ending. So don't worry about that. You know, focus on what came through here first, which is being refreshed, being rejuvenated, taking care of you, like cleansing your side of the street, is what it comes down to. Successful, lucrative, prosperous, yes. So I feel like at the end of the day, once again, this is kind of like that focus on yourself kind of energy. Focus on yourself. I feel like that goes kind of hand in hand here with this refreshed energy, as you're refreshing yourself, rejuvenating yourself, healing yourself, cleaning your side of the street, taking care of yourself. You are going to be successful in your life. Now, this could be with money, of course, financially, because we have a guy here where it's raining cash and he's super happy and he's super ecstatic about that. But it doesn't have to be. The successful thing could be a representation of being lucky in love, once again at another time, because we did have this I love the way you laugh card come out here for the future. And this is a love related reading, so I would assume that that would be the aim, the direction, the end goal here. But overall, I feel like it's about focusing on yourself to help you live your best life and be successful, period. Whether it's in finances, whether it's in love, whether it's with your family, your friendships, anything and everything in life, just to be able to live your best life, period. Because even though this reading is, of course, romance driven, it is romance related, other areas of our life still all connect. Like if we're in a committed relationship, for example, with somebody, inevitably that's eventually going to tie into our friends. It's going to tie into our family because those worlds are going to collide and all meet. It's eventually going to tie into our finances if we choose to live with that person or marry that person or whatever. So it really ties into like it's all connected. So focus on living your best life and making it successful rather than being jealous over things where there really may not be anything to be jealous of. And we have nervous, apprehensive, hesitant. So I feel like in terms of moving forward beyond your single life, I feel like you guys feel nervous about it. Probably extenuating out of things that you have been through in the past. You're probably nervous about like moving forward and actually finding love again. Whether it's, maybe patching things up with the person of the past or finding somebody new. But I feel like you're definitely nervous about that there's definitely some nerves around that. That's not necessarily a bad thing. Like it's okay to be nervous. It's definitely showing that you're alert and you're aware, but don't let it stop you from doing things either. Don't let it stop you from pursuing things. All right, we have a few more cards here from Love Story so we can get a little bit more context as to what's happening here. So let's see. This love isn't love. It's toxic. Okay. So obviously, spirit would not lead you to a toxic love in the future, especially if you are working on yourself, if you are refreshing, rejuvenating yourself, if you're working on becoming your best self. So when it comes down to the toxic part of love, I feel like that's in reference to this situation here. I mean, the sex may have been great. It may have been amazing. It may have been mind blowing, but that may have been the only good thing about this connection. It could have been very toxic otherwise and very unhealthy. And ultimately, I feel like this situation here was probably only beneficial physically, that there was no like emotional benefit, no mental benefit, that it was just beneficial from the physical. So I feel like with this toxic card coming out here, it is a reminder to, don't go backwards into things where if it's all just physical, like leave it in the past. Like I feel like this person probably didn't even bring you joy and laughter. And considering we have this laughter card here for the future, that's where spirit wants to take you. Spirit wants to take you somewhere where it's going to be more lighthearted, where you can laugh with this person, where they make you laugh and you make them laugh, and it's just a lot of fun. It's not toxic, it's not heavy, is what it comes down to. Committed to you for all time. That's also what you deserve. You deserve someone who is willing to commit to you, to take it to the long haul, is what it comes down to. Now, the situation from the past, I feel like that person wasn't willing to commit to you because, once again, I feel like it was just all physical. It was probably a situationship. It was probably like a friends with benefits, a hey you up texting kind of thing, just like a booty call thing. That's it. But you are worth so much more than a booty call, obviously. So I feel like there is someone coming in for you who is going to be committed for you, who is going to be ready to take things to a deeper level. I allow addictions to take top priority. It's kind of funny. I feel like we're playing tennis or badminton or ping pong or just, something where the ball's like bouncing back and forth on the court, because it's like 1 minute things are really toxic and really bad, and then it bounces to something like really good and really positive, and it goes back and forth. So now we have this: I allow addictions to take top priority, which I feel like is bouncing back to the past person again. Um, so I feel like that's one of the reasons why this turned out to be a situationship, why it was not like a fully blown committed thing, why it was probably just purely physical, because this person probably has addictions. Now, the guy on the card has a video game addiction, but it could be any kind of addiction. It could be video games, it could be alcohol, it could be drugs, it could be sex, it could be, anything. There are so many different things you can be addicted to these days. But I definitely feel like this person has some kind of addiction, which is a contributing factor to the problems, which is probably why it became very toxic and wasn't able to really go beyond much further and left you being single. I can share with you, even with no words spoken, so much is said. So now I feel like the ping pong or tennis ball or whatever has gone back over to the other side, which is actually, this is kind of funny because this guy is playing a video game and this guy is playing a video game. That's kind of interesting. I may have to pull a clarifier here on something because I feel like this is kind of going one way or another. Let me get the last love story card and then we'll get into the clarifier. I don't want to say what's on my mind just yet because I want to see what this last card is. Finally reunited. Okay, that already gives me a little bit more insight. But I'm going to pull a clarifier from In My Feels. So let me tell you guys what I'm pulling a clarifier for, because this is very interesting. So, I think I just touched the microphone. Sorry if that just made like a big noise. I have like a microphone thing like on my hoodie, so I think I just like touched it. So if I made like a big noise from touching it, I'm sorry. Okay, anyways. So here's what I thought was really interesting. When we got to the point of I allow addictions to take top priority and the I can be alone with you, even with no words spoken, so much is said. Okay, so originally I was feeling like we were dealing with this ping pong ball, right? Back and forth, like two different potential partners. One from the past who was very toxic, and one in the future that you could laugh with, who you could find a commitment with. So that's what I was kind of getting, right? And then these two cards come out back to back. And what I find to be very, very interesting, aside from the fact that these guys look alike, is they are both playing video games. Two completely different energies, but they are playing video games. Now, I already explained this one with the addictions. Still applies for the past. Now, as for this one, this is a more positive energy because this is basically kind of referencing, like, it's not necessarily referencing video games per se. It's just interesting that he is playing video games in this card. It's basically referencing the fact that when you have a strong connection with someone, it can be so strong that you could be alone in a room with them, just the two of you, and you could be doing your thing, they could be doing their thing, whether it's video games or something else. And it's like you can have silence between the two of you, and it's not awkward. It doesn't feel uncomfortable. It's not like you feel like you're forced to talk to one another. That's not to say that you don't talk to each other and that you don't communicate and there's no vulnerability or any of those kinds of things, because of course that's still there. But it's not forced. It's not like, oh, well, we're sitting here alone. I feel like I have to say something because you can cut the tension with the knife. It feels so awkward. Like, that doesn't exist. Like, it's like you can be alone. It's like you can do your own thing with that person still being there, and it's like totally comfortable and it's totally natural. So it's more like a positive emotion, which I would normally tie a card like this to the committed card and to the future card. But what tripped me up is the video game thing, honestly, because then I was just like, is this the same person? Is this the same person? Because I'm like, that's a little bit too weird just because it came through back to back like that. I'm like, is it the same person? Is something going to like transform and morph here? And I kind of get the feeling that it may all be the same person, because your final card here is finally reunited, not finally united, like finally united like you and like a new person, but it's like finally reunited, like reunite like something that has already been united once before coming back together again. So that's where the clarifier is coming in from in my feels. I just want to pull from this deck and get a yes or no. Oh, well, we already got a card here. Impatient. Maybe. We got a maybe card here. Impatient, maybe. Eagerness, anxiousness, restless. Okay, so we'll just put this one right here up against our little golden healer. So it might be the same person. So with us getting the maybe card, I feel like we have two different scenarios going on here then possibly. So for one group of you, this could be two different people. We have the person of the past who was very toxic and had addictions, and the situation had to end. And for others of you, oh, and that's the past. And then, like, in the future, Spirit is going to bring in someone better who is going to make you laugh and you're going to feel committed to, and, you know, someone that you can be alone with where there's like no pressure or whatever. For others of you, this all could be the same person, where in the past, it was all physical and it was very toxic and it was very unhealthy. But then after some time alone and taking care of yourself, focusing on yourself, this person winds up coming back, and they wind up coming back like this healthier version of themselves who's ready to be committed, who's going to make you laugh, where you're going to reunite. Now, where the impatience comes in is I feel like it's going to take time. That if you're going to be reunited, if you're going to come back together, it's going to take time. That this is not going to happen overnight. Because, first of all, there are things that you need to work on your side of the street. We already talked about this jealousy card and the deceptive card. I feel like these are issues that you're going to have to work on, that you're going to have to work through some of this jealousy of being jealous of like other people and their relationships and their situations and what they have going on, because you are being deceived. Like all of these people who are, you know, putting on like their happily ever after Facebook photos or whatever, like I said, I'm not saying their lives are miserable. I'm not saying that there's zero truth to it, but I am saying that it's not as picture perfect as you think it is. That there's deception there is what it comes down to. And that most likely, if you actually knew what was going on behind the scenes in those relationships, you probably wouldn't be jealous anymore. And you'd probably be like, oh yeah, I would rather be single. I don't want to deal with that. You'd probably become a million times more thankful for where you are right now. So I feel like that's something you need to work on. And while you are working on that and taking care of yourself, replenishing yourself, making the best version of yourself that you can be, that this person from the past is probably going to be working through their addictions and whatever it was that was going on in them that was making this relationship toxic. And when you have worked on your side of things and they have worked on their side of things, then you guys can reunite, come back together, and have this happy, committed relationship where things are lighthearted and good again. But like I said, that takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of work on your end, and it takes a lot of work on their end. So it requires quite a bit of patience, and not just like patience towards that person, but also like patience towards yourself, because you're working on yourself. Is this still recording? Okay, good. It's still recording. I just got freaked out there. My iPod just told me that like the battery was running low. So I gotta wrap this up. I don't have it plugged in right now because I have this other little tool plugged in for the microphone that I currently have on. But you guys are my last group, and I'm almost done with you guys as it is. So I need to wrap this up so the battery doesn't completely die here on this last reading that I'm working right now. Anyways, yeah, so take that as it resonates. Considering we got the maybe card here, like I said, I feel like there's potential for it to be two different groups of people, that there's going to be one group of people where it is two different people, the person of the past who's toxic, and you should definitely just leave behind in the past to make room for like a new healthy person. And then there's that second group where it is going to be that same person from the past, but it's going to take a lot of time, because when you guys do reunite, it is going to be like this healthier version of them and a healthier version of you as well. So I feel like that's why we got that maybe card there. Anyways, that's pretty much what I have going on for you guys. I need to wrap this up so my iPod doesn't die on me, because I record with my iPod Touch. I know it's old, but it does the job. Anyways, if this message didn't fly, or if this message didn't apply, just let it fly. But if it did resonate, let me know and drop me a comment down below. I would love to hear from you guys, of course, and give this video a big thumbs up, because that definitely helps me out right here on the YouTube algorithm. And if I resonate with you guys as a reader, then feel free to subscribe and hit that notification bell. By hitting the notification bell, you guys will be up to date and in the know every time a brand new video is uploaded and posted, or anytime there is a brand new update, period. So I definitely invite you guys to check that out, as well as my website, shadowandshine.com, because if I really, really, really resonate with you as a reader and you're interested in your own personal reading, that is the place to do it. So I would love to assist you on your journey. So if you want a personal reading, hit me up over there on shadowandshine.com. Also, if you are interested in either one of these decks, love story, oh, I pulled another card here. Impulsive, maybe another message there for you guys. Another maybe there. But if you're interested in my feels or love story or any of the other oracle decks that I have, they are available over on my website as well. So yeah, basically shadowandshine.com is the one-stop shop for everything. And also, I invite you guys to join me over on Patreon. Patreon is a super fun place too. There's a good community over there, and we connect over on Discord. And yeah, so daily card pulls, weekly card pulls, all that good stuff. So feel free to join me on Patreon. I'm sorry if this sounds weird and kind of rushed. I just keep thinking about my battery in the back of my head. So yeah, Patreon, my website, shadowandshine.com, all of my socials, all that good stuff. Links are all down below in the description box, so feel free to check that out. And that is pretty much everything. But I appreciate you guys so incredibly much, and I thank you for hanging out here with me today. I definitely hope this reading helped you out and you enjoyed it. So, and I don't know why a door just slammed out there. That sounded very loud. I'm getting so distracted. I just need to wrap this up. So thank you for hanging out here with me today, like I said. And I will talk to you guys later. So I'm sending you guys lots of hugs and much love. Keep sparkling.